following feature has been rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America. It is intended for mature audiences and parental discretion is advised. Advised.
But yeah, guys, so creepypastas, what do?
What? What indeed?
That's a very loaded question. Well,
okay, hold on.
well,
Let me.
I first. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was gonna get to. Was like, when did you even first become aware of this weird, like, because all they are like a modern internet version of like urban legends that were passed around, right?
Right.
You know, whether it's you know,
Yeah.
the kidney thief or the hook man or any of that kind of stuff. It's all comes from the same places. This person tells a story and then this person tells a story and it changes and evolves over time.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like when did you
it's-
first become aware of it?
Oh God. I had to have been a teenager at the time, back in the 4chan days.
Oh god, yeah.
I don't even remember which subsection of 4chan it was that they would compile all of that, but
It was something awful,
yeah,
wasn't it?
That's. Oh no, okay, so it was something awful and then 4chan, because I think something awful came before.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I frequented those forums. I didn't participate, but I sure looked in on all of the.
Perused.
It's a fascinating
I was a
social
connoisseur of,
experiment back then.
But no, like something awful was where I found Slender Man, and then 4chan was more where I found the short form stuff, like
Well, yeah, the
like
Slender,
Wake Up and-
Slender Man was the something awful post, but it was just like 2 or 3 Photoshop pictures that like kind of like, and then
Yeah.
people started, you know, it snowballed and turned into like short stories and all that. So yeah, and then you found like, because you shared Wake Up with me. She shared one with me called Wake Up that I'd never even heard of or read before, and it was pretty good.
I don't think I know that one. No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean it's it's short and sweet, but
Yeah.
very effective.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Those are usually the best ones. There's
Yes.
one or two that are really long that are like they're good because they're written well, but
Yeah.
most of the time the shorter they are, the more effective they are.
But yeah, so that's teenager, running around and in the dung piles
Yeah.
of the internet back then.
The Wild West
is
days.
where
Yeah.
And oh god, what was the one that was pretty popular? It was oh shoot, I can't remember the name of it, but it was one of the creepypastas. It was about people that were like just stuck in the dark and they went insane and they like killed all of the scientists.
Oh, the Russian
Russian
sleep
sleep
Yeah,
experiment?
yeah.
Yeah.
The one that Crow always
yeah.
brings up, yeah. I think that's his favorite. That or it's the only one he knows about. I don't know. I never asked him which. Crow, tell us. We want to know. Yeah, the Russian sleep experiment. That one's actually pretty good. And pretty well written and pretty like it's definitely a short story, but it's not. It doesn't overstay its welcome. But it definitely goes to it gets to that early mid 2000s edge lord towards the end of it. Like a lot of them do. Where they didn't know what else to do, so they tried to think of like one-liners for like movie posters to throw in there. So yeah. All right. Well. All right, Marley. What about you? What's your first like memory of coming across this show?
Actually, something like Russian Sleep Experiment was probably one of the first ones that I think I actually read.
Yeah.
Because I was not I was not familiar. I kept hearing this phrase, creepypasta, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's weird. Why are we putting spaghetti with our scary? Like, I don't understand.
Spooky spaghetti.
Yeah, right.
Spooky spaghetti,
The flying
'cause that's the
spaghetti
only way I could think
monsters.
of it.
Yes, that's what it was.
But yeah, then I just like looked it up and I was like, oh, it's like, oh yeah, I think I saw this. I think it was like the old, yeah, like the original like Slender Man Photoshops. And I was like, oh yeah, stuff like that. Okay, I understand now.
Right.
And then I like I think I read Russian Sleep Experiment, maybe like one other, and oh yeah, I read like read Ben Drowned at some point because for years and years I kept hearing it referenced, and I was like, I don't know what this Zelda scary thing is. I don't understand. I need to just finally just kind of read it.
Yeah.
That little shit took over my channel for a little bit.
Well, you've done creepy pasta readings, like you did Ted the Caver. Didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
that's another good one. Like that one was
good.
The great thing about that one in particular was like the guy who did it said that it was a troll for his family because like he was posting his caving journals, and then he was like, well, what if I just added some weird shit in here? What if I made it like just added some stuff to it, and then like. It's like in the last entry he says something along the lines of something like I was completely alone, I had no one to talk to, I had no one to reach out to that would understand, and then, like imagine his family reading that and being like, dude, fuck you.
Screw you, man.
Like, hey, you're not coming to Christmas.
We haven't. You can't come to Thanksgiving. We haven't forgiven you for the blog.
Yeah, we haven't forgiven you for. And then just like disappearing for like going on vacation for like a month, so everybody thinks you're dead in a cave somewhere.
I think some of the ones that I think the ones I read more of, I guess more numerous, although I can't necessarily remember them all anymore, were like. Two-tone ones, like Japanese ones, Japanese urban legend kind of things, because some of those, like, people just assume, oh yeah, that urban legend's been around forever, and it's like, well, some do have basis in, like, yokai and yurei, like, legend, but actually a lot of this is just people on 2chan fucking around.
Well, that's
and stuff. And I love like Kisaragi Station's great.
Kisaragi Station's great. Teke Teke's fun. Of course, the Kuchisaki Onna, who fucking caused a real world panic. Like, she's awesome. Yeah. Love her. Need more slasher villains in Japan. God damn it. And then what was the other one? Hashaku-sama.
Yeah, Hashaku-sama.
Yes. Thank you. I knew I was pronouncing that wrong. I knew you'd get it right though.
I might be right. I might be adding an extra syllable. Who knows?
It definitely seems like the whole creepypasta thing, like internet horror short stories and stuff like that. And also, if anybody's interested in the Japanese creepypasta stuff, Kowabana.
Go to Kowabana,
Go to Kowabana, because Tara Devlin, like, she narrates all of, like, that channel's been going strong forever, and she's really good at it. She finds really cool stories, and she also explains the ways that they're written and why characters are only referred to in certain ways, like by like the first letter of names and stuff like that. It's really cool, really interesting. There's also some really creepy shit on there. But as far as creepypastas go, I'll just tell you straight up, like, I was already, like I told you guys before stream, I was already out in the middle of the ocean by the time the fucking creepypasta ship just was leaving port, and I like looked over and I saw like Slender Man pictures. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, it's imaginative, nice, people doing Photoshop shit, that's cool. And then it didn't go away, and then people started memeing about it and shit, and I was like, all right, I guess I should try to like as somebody who's as into horror as I am and gone from every different type of horror media out there, I was like, well, fuck, let's do this. These are like modern urban legends, and just jumping in and trying to read some like just random ones that had like interesting names and stuff like that, and it is the biggest mixed bag of horror. And like I bought random horror story like collection books. I used to just buy them when I would find them in the bookstore, because like I was like, I don't know who any of these fucking people are. Maybe some of them are, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. I'd say 8 out of 10 creepypastas are dog shit. They're, and it's not even that they're like, okay, being not scary is horror subjective, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Super but but what's not subjective is bad writing. And, you know, it just...
Poorly constructed narrative.
And like you said earlier, like, no punctuation, or like, wait, who's talking? What are you talking? Is this an internal monologue, or are they saying this out loud?
Speaking?
Like, yeah.
Why did we juxtapose two words that cannot be juxtaposed because they are complete Wait, no. You can't say that the knocking on the door was silent, but the loudest bang of all time. Because, like, if you were inferring that despite how quiet it was, it seemed like it was ringing in his ear, that's different.
Yeah.
That's different. But no, just like using complete opposite words together to mean the same thing, and oh yeah.
And it's not in that fun, like, Lovecraft way where he's trying to describe something that's an impossibility.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more just like you are just word salading, like, fucking shit together.
Salading a certain style of, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so intense. Isn't this moment so intense? And we're going to use opposites to make it feel intense.
Yeah, and I remember all of the creepypasta YouTubers coming out of the woodwork, like Mr. Creepypasta, Corpse Husband, like, big ups to those guys for doing so well and like, you know, making a career off of it and stuff like that. But I've listened to some of the stuff that they read, and I'm like, how do you read this with a straight face? Like, how are you not just laughing your ass off while you're reading this?
Who have you hired to add the punctuation?
It's not even that. It's like
don't talk.
So many of these stories are like, they're basically like morality tales about not to fuck around so you don't find out. It's like, and all of them end with like, and then I ran home screaming, or I drove home screaming, and nothing happened. I'm like, well, that doesn't scare me because there's no consequences in your fucking story. If there's no stakes, then what the fuck am I supposed to be afraid of?
Yep. And also, yes, what Little Alternative Girl said, and then he became a Tumblr sexy man, is applicable for like at least half of the creepypastas out there.
Oh, so much porn. Oh my god. I swear to God, like deviant art was built off of creepypasta, like, fucking fan art alone.
Creepypasta and the Sonic fandom.
Oh, we don't need to go there.
There was a whole generation of folks that got into tentacle porn, not because of hentai, but because of Slender Man.
That's true.
Slender Man.
That's true.
It's true.
So yeah, it seems like we all kind of like had similar experiences with this, getting into it, and then like it just like it being kind of head scratching. But the thing that like really got me about it is that it just had a lot of staying power. Regardless of how much of it is bad or poorly written or whatever, a lot of it, it just fucking hung in there and stuck around. And now, of course, it's evolved once again into all of these analog programs and analog horror shorts and stuff like that. And we'll talk a little bit more about some of that later. But of course, like Kane Pixels with the Backrooms and stuff like that. He's fucking amazing. Like, his stuff is awesome.
Those are good.
Like,
those are good. My friend Adeline finally sat me down and made me watch all of them. I'd only seen like one, and
did you watch
really good.
Did you watch The Oldest View?
The Oldest View.
Yeah. Oh, it's his most recent one. It is so fucking good. So good.
Is it like super recent? Because I know that Dandelion curated them to be in like actual like the order that they the order they came out in, but like the order that
this is not the Backrooms. It's a different like
it's a different one. I don't think I've seen it.
It's really good. Really good. I'll probably show it on here sometime, but it is like almost like it's 3 parts and it's basically feature length. It's over an hour.
Nice.
Wow.
But it's amazing the stuff that he does with Blender and stuff like that. You can't tell that like when you're watching it, you're like, wait a minute, this is all fucking Blender animation. This isn't real. He didn't just rent an office building and run around with a camera. Like, holy shit. And it's also like a huge upsurge in like the Uncanny Valley, like, you know, malformed faces, impossible features and stuff like that, like the Mandela catalog. I talked about that a little bit. I've talked about that when I did Analog Horror Night on here a while ago. That stuff doesn't get me, because I'm just like, that's just a picture. That's like artwork of somebody's face. Why would that bother me? Like, the fucking picture's not gonna hurt me. and it's not even a good picture. It looks like a fucking like just an image search for scary face on Google, you know. But the stuff that, like that, again, humble beginnings, and then evolved into some, like this whole world that I really, really enjoyed. And of course, like, yes, Jack brought it up, the Walton Files, like the FNAF stuff. Some of that's interesting. I just hate the games. I think they suck. Things in there. So
yeah, no, there's definitely. I would say that FNAF is one of those things where there are things in the fandom that are far more interesting than anything you will encounter in the actual series.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I don't even know, like, I'm not any fucking kind of authority on creepypastas or anything, but I am, like, I've been in horror and writing about it and watching it, obviously, for I don't want to talk about how long. It feels like one long day to me. It's just interesting. It's an interesting, like, evolutionary step on where this whole thing is going, you know, as it's ever changing. And it's definitely a great snapshot of the time, of like what the internet was like at the time, what people thought was scary, and when every angsty 12-year-old with a keyboard was writing, you know, horror shorts and stuff like that, and trying to be the next Slender Man or whatever. But it's, you know, there's never, as much as I will crap on some of the stories and I'll make fun of it and everything, like I do everything, I appreciate it for existing and for introducing a whole, like, new generations and stuff like that, because then they go back and they look at those old myths and urban legends, and that's when you get into cryptids, and, you know, then you maybe go and watch some of the stuff from the 80s that some of these people who wrote the really memorable stuff references being inspirations for them, and then that's, you know, just it all kind of snowballs. So none of it, I think overall it's a really good thing, and it's something that it was really interesting to watch happen. That being said, no, go ahead, please. Stop me. I'm talking a lot.
I was just gonna say, you know, it's part of that evolution was, you know, because it's basically literary memes, is what creepypastas are. But you know, we go from having our verbal stories being passed down, you know, like the urban legends and you know, the man with the hook hand,
and campfire stories,
campfire stories, and it turned into, you know, the written, you know, creepypastas where, you know, anybody could come up with their own, you know, short little horror story to spread around. And now we're seeing all of that you know, come more into the visual media, you know, like Marble Hornets and Tribe 12, with Slender Man and the Rake and everything, and, you know, the back rooms and everything like that. You know, you see all of these projects that, you know, you could absolutely see them being, you know, creepypastas, you know, had they started, you know, a few years ago.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And it's all like, all of it is just interesting to watch, because that's how everybody gets started. Everybody gets started doodling in their notebook, whether you're an artist or whether you're a writer, and whether you write shitty little short stories, and eventually you know, go through puberty and get some hair on your proverbial balls and decide to actually post this stuff and see what other people think of it, and it's all just a stepping stone to the next level. And I don't care how bad your story is, you did it. You know, you took that fucking step, you took that leap. There's a lot of people that never even get that far, that, you know, they're too inside their own fucking head. They're too worried about what other people are going to say, whether it's anonymous or not. So big ups to anybody that puts their shit out there for other people to look at and point out, especially on the internet in the 2000s, because that was not a fun time to, you know, put yourself out there. I mean, it still isn't. I mean, Twitter is a shit show. Every day I open it, I'm like, why am I here? Honestly, if it wasn't,
that was back in the day when people were encouraging everybody to bully everybody else. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like every time you did anything, it was to kill yourself. Like that was just thrown around casually. Yeah, that was totally a thing. But I mean, I there's a silver lining to everything, and I enjoy what came what like it led to, because what we have now is a whole bunch more a new generation of people that are trying to be super creative in horror and take it in different directions and use, you know, a lot of them go back and they'll set their stuff in like 2004, and to a lot of people, a lot of you disgusting fucking zoomers, that was your childhood, you know, so you relate to it and you're like, you get nostalgic for it and stuff like that, where I look at it and I'm like, I didn't give a shit then, and I give less of a shit now. But that's me. That's not everybody. So, yeah, creepypastas are interesting, but they definitely vary in quality.
Yes.
Incredibly high highs and incredibly low lows.
Yeah. It's it's like we were talking about earlier, where it's kind of like the SCP. You know, stuff where, you know, there are some gems.
Oh no, absolutely.
In the SCPs, but you're gonna have to wade through a whole lot of shit.
What I don't want to get too much into the SCP stuff, because I will do SCP night. Of course, I'm gonna make Emot come on for that, because he is an SCP basically. I don't care how many magical girls he stuffs himself in. Yes, you can take that in any context you want. It's the SCP stuff, just to touch on it real quick, is something that I found way after creepypasta stuff, and then I started to see that the SCP pop up, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I looked it up, and you look up SCP like 179, the living statue, and I was like, oh dude, that's fucking weird, like it breaks your neck when you don't look at it. That's awesome. Didn't Doctor Who do something like that, but lamer? And I would wager that there's a lot more well-written and better, more interesting stuff on the SCP website and in that world than there is just like general creepypastas. Because SCP, like that site, like they have standards, you know? Like I don't think like creepypastas, you could just post whatever the fuck you want on a lot of those old boards and stuff like that. Like SCP, they were like, you know, that site's curated. We're like, you know, they'll look at it and be like, nah, this is bullshit. We're not putting this on here. And I also like the SCPs. Yeah. Some of them are benign. Some of them are funny. You know, some of them are just interesting.
I think one of my favorite was literally like it's like a restaurant with some old dudes in it, like a diner. Like that's the SCP. It's this old diner out in the middle of the desert. Yeah. I'm like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, and you know, there's the pipe nightmare building. It's just all these pipes that keep growing, and some of them are alive, and they're made out of various materials and stuff like that. And he keeps trying to expand. They have to keep cutting them back. You know, the plague doctor.
You only take one.
Yeah.
Don't take two. Grandma said you could have one.
That's sure how SCP is now. It got really cringy at one point. Well, that's what happens with anything when it starts getting popular. Yeah. You know. But SCP, like I'd say overall, is a more positive experience going through there than it would be to go through, you know, old like, you know, r/no-sleep on Reddit or something awful, or just going on 4chan. Period. Just don't go on there. Just don't. You're not gonna have fun. Don't do it. But we'll do an SCP night one of these days, and we'll go through all the fun SCPs and stuff like that. We'll read those. Speaking of reading.
Oh boy.
Yeah. This is where things get really scary, because when you're talking about creepypastas, you can't not read one of them. So, submitted for your approval. You're entering a place not only of sound and sight, but of mind. So in order to kind of like, I think perfectly encapsulate a really good snapshot of the times, we are going to read a creepypasta to you, to all of you guys and gals.
Guys.
Yeah.
For your listening pleasure.
But before we do that, real quick, I just want to ask each of you, what is, like, starting with Viscera, what is your favorite creepypasta? Viscera.
Well, it's honestly, it's definitely Wake Up.
Okay. That was a good read.
Just, you know, Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I said, if anybody wants to look it up, it's short and sweet. You know, you can read it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, it and I'm sure probably it you know, it fucks with me because I deal with you know, derealization and that kind of thing, where, you know, sometimes life doesn't feel real and it can be a little disconcerting.
Very much.
But so when you see a little story like that, it just it puts the hairs on my arms.
Yeah. No, those are the best kind. You know, they leave an impression. Any horror story that you read that sticks with you is a good one. Whether it's good or bad, if being memorable is the most important thing. And that is it's almost along the lines of like no press is bad press kind of thing, but it's just so much better when it's actually good. So
Yeah.
All right, Marley, same question, go.
Kisaragi Station.
That is a good one.
That's an easy answer. Yeah.
And that was told on a board as if it was actually happening when it happened, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
It was a back
It's almost
and
like an ARG thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Which
For those of you who don't know
I like.
about Kisaragi Station, do you want to give them like a summary of what it is?
Well, so the general, it's been a while since I read it, but the general idea is that someone finds themselves like on a train that they don't recognize the stations that they're going past, and they're trying to figure things out, and they get off at a place called Kisaragi Station, and all the people responding are like, we can't figure out where this place is. Are you sure? What's the, you know, can you give us the kanji for the name of the station so that we can like figure out where you are and like all this stuff. And yeah, basically they're going through this, they're going through this, it's kind of like, it's almost like a town out of time versus place, and it's almost like a little pocket dimension kind of story. And the person's like wandering around like trying to figure out where they are, and all the people responding are panicking because they're like, you're not on the map, like you don't exist, like what are you talking about? So it's one of those kinds of stories. It's like, yeah, no, and you know, it trails off.
Yeah, it definitely,
you don't know what happens to the person.
It definitely feels like something you'd read in like a Junji Ito manga or something.
Yeah.
Where, like she's narrating like, oh, I slept through my station or whatever, and then she's like, where the hell am I? And then the train, the end of the line is like in the mountains or something, and it's like the train isn't even supposed to go there.
And I can tell you, as someone who has lived over there and got lost by myself over there and was never totally fluent, not even close.
Trains are a fucking nightmare.
Like I have absolutely been lost in places where it's like, congratulations, you missed that train. There isn't another one until tomorrow.
It's all right. I'm gonna get on the train. I'm gonna take it up to Sapporo. I'm gonna go to the brewery, and get some of that good stuff. And what the fuck? I'm in Osaka. Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. No, it's definitely
especially the further out into the Inaka you get, the less English there is, the less Romanized letters there are. So if you can't read the signs, good luck.
Yeah, if you don't know your kanji, and you're in trouble. Or you have a guide. That's the best way to do it if you don't speak the fucking language.
Nowadays it's a little bit easier because of like the translate apps where you literally like, hold it up and you're like, read this to me. But even when I was first there, like that shit wasn't really a thing yet. So
yeah, exactly.
That was a long time ago.
And that also, like, the best horror stories are super relatable. And getting lost and missing your stop and ending up somewhere like you don't know where the fuck you are, like that's a relatable fear. That's like an everyday fear.
You don't know where you are, and when you ask the internet, they don't know either.
Yeah, and then the story takes that starts subtly taking that supernatural twist, and then she just stopped posting. And just that was it.
It's one of those things where she's like, I think it's implied there's like somebody there, and they're going to try to like ask them a question or like help or something.
And then, she was going to stop and ask somebody for help, and then it was like, well,
and then it never posts again.
Yeah, and it's the same thing as like Wake Up. Wake Up is something that is relatable because we all the crux of Wake Up is like we all go to a safe place when bad things happen, whether it's physically or in your own mind. And like a dream, a lucid dream, you don't always realize you're dreaming, and even when you do, sometimes you can't bring yourself out of it, which is people suffer from sleep paralysis, night terrors, and stuff like that, and it's a very real fear to be stuck. Even if it is supposed to be a safe place is no longer a safe place when you can't leave.
Yep.
And also when you don't know that you're lost. So that's where I think the good horror, subtle horror, comes from a story like Wake Up. Mine favorites always tend to I have two to mention, and they vary from the extreme to the more normal. The more normal would be the search and rescue worker series.
Oh yeah,
that was on r/no sleep. The one where it's told
yeah.
from the point of view of a search and rescue worker who works in a national park, a forestry park, and it just runs the gamut of like cryptids, people disappearing, people mysteriously dying, and then people disappearing and then emerging months later completely fine, or being found
totally okay.
miles and miles from where they disappeared, where they were last seen, with absolutely no explanation of how they got there. No tracks, no nothing. Even venturing into like Native American folklore and stuff like that about the spirits, the lonely spirits in the woods that you don't want to run into or interact with. If you do, like that is just like the woods. The woods is one of those things that you're always told not to wander too far. You're always told, stay on the trails. If you see something weird, if you hear something weird, don't go towards it. Just turn around and leave. But that
don't whistle a hum.
Yeah, that fucking moron inside all of us, and especially inside the people in these stories, tends to get them killed in really horrible, weird ways. And then, of course, we've got the staircases in the woods.
Yeah,
which
the staircases
was such iconic like imagery that people thought that shit was real. It's not.
They really did. They really did.
Yeah.
They ran with that.
Oh, they super fucking ran with it. But if you guys haven't read the Search and Rescue creepypasta series, it's like 8 or 9 chapters, I think. That one is a really good read because it also mixes in a lot of real life tragedy stories of people just dying tragically in the woods and stuff like that, sprinkled in with all of this outlandish shit that happens. Just the weird stuff that happens out there. And because the woods you're isolated, you're not around anybody that you know, and there is no civilization. There's no one's gonna help you, and if they are gonna help you, it's gonna be way after the fact. So you do well to either stay away or follow the goddamn signs. And then my other one I really like, just because I like super fucked up shit, is farm.avi. Who here knows what farm.avi is?
I don't think I know that one is.
I'm not sure if I've seen that one.
Farm.avi is infamous deep web story. And we all know about the deep web or the dark web. It's full of CP and snuff films and all that stuff. It's really not. It's just bullshit. It's a bunch of archived web pages and Nazi propaganda and, people trying to sell drugs and rip each other off and get you to download viruses and shit. That's what the dark web is. It's not the dark web.
Yeah.
But somebody found a dead site with 4 video files, and they were farm.avi 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each one of these was a super fucked up video of naked people seemingly being held captive on a pig farm, wearing the heads of decapitated pigs and being forced to run around on their hands and knees by a machete-wielding guy in, like, rubber boots. And then something about them, like killing people by sewing them up in pig carcasses and stuff. It's really fucked up. It's got some great visual, like, body, like, gut-wrenching horror of, like, this shit's just happening somewhere. Like, they're just killing people on this pig farm and probably feeding them to the pigs because you can do that. And it's just one of those, like, you know, snuff film urban legend stories that's like outlandish and gruesome, but not so ridiculous that you're like, this is just stupid. This is just bullshit. Some fucking, like, you know, 15-year-old wrote this because they thought they were being edgy. But it's that right balance if you're going to start to try to tell a story about just stumbling, like, happen upon a snuff film on the internet. It's one of those kinds of things without any real narrative. It's just describing what each one of these videos is, and then the end, you know.
Yeah.
So in each one of these, each thing here that we talked about has affected us or stuck with us in one way or another. But there's one story that has stuck with all three of us, and probably stuck with a lot of you for no good reason, because there is nothing good about it. Hi, Yui. You got here just in time. Yeah, so... can't believe I'm doing this. Submitted for your approval.
Come on.
The three of us are going to read you guys Jeff the Killer.
Woo!
Yeah, let's go.
Don't hold your breath for applause. You're gonna fucking pass out. Yeah. So...
It's gonna be a fantastic time.
No, it's really not. And there he is. Look at his big dumb face. Ugh. All right, so
Look at that smile.
a little bit of a backstory on this fucking story. I like everyone else here, I'm pretty sure, has absolutely no fucking idea why this was such a big deal. And as a slasher myself, I'm horribly offended. This is like the slasher equivalent of blackface, basically. Like, I'm so offended to my core by this story. The original story, I was gonna do the original Jeff the Killer story, because this is the remake. This is the one that you are probably all familiar with. But the original story is even more outlandish and stupid. Jeff the Killer's a fucking Looney Tunes character, because how his face gets mutilated in the original is he's carrying a bottle of acid to clean the bathtub.
Yep.
I'm pausing so that can sink in. And then he slips
Yep.
like Wile E. fucking Coyote on a bar of soap and dumps it on his big dumb face. And it just kind of goes from there.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, and for those, it was a matter of debate for a long time where that image you see up there came from. That came from a Japanese message board. That is not the face of a girl who killed herself on 4chan. That was a bullshit story. It's also not it's not the author of the original story in a latex mask. He was lying. The image was found in like 2005 on like Japanese message boards, and nobody's really sure where it came from or what context it had. So yeah, that's all the backstory you're getting on Jeff the Killer. Other than that, the story we're about to read is from 2015. The original was from like 2008 or something. So yeah, you guys better fucking strap in for this, because oh boy.
Oh boy.
All right. So I think the best way to do this, I'll narrate it. Viscera, you're gonna be all the other voices, and Marley, you're gonna be Jeff.
Oh dear God.
I think that's how we're gonna do this. So anything in quotes that is not Jeff is you, Viscera. And then I'll read everything in between, all the descriptions and stuff. And then Marley, whatever Jeff opens his stupid fucking mouth.
Oh boy.
And hey, you want to do voices? Do voices. It's just gonna make chat happier.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay, so let's see.
All right. I'll open, and then it's gonna be down to the I had a bad dream. All right.
Okay.
All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I was born ready. Okay. No, dial it back a little bit. It's not Shakespeare. Okay, so here we go. Jeff the Killer by Who Gives a Fuck. Excerpt from a local newspaper. Ominous unknown killer is still at large. I did it like that because they structured it that way. After weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. I'm not going to stop at the end of every sentence to point out how stupid this is, but on the rise? You mean on the loose? Because on the rise sounds like he's doing really well for himself, like he invested in crypto, and like, you know, Elon retweeted his fucking tweet or something. Like, that's what on the rise is for someone like Jeff. Anyway, after little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story.
I had a bad dream and I woke up in the middle of the night,
says the boy.
I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to get back to sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in the little ray of light, illuminating from between my curtains, were a pair of two eyes. These weren't regular eyes.
Hold on, a pair of two eyes?
A pair of two eyes.
So there were four eyes looking at you? That fucking freaked me out too, kid. That's around the time the cops he was talking to checked out. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
These weren't regular eyes. They were dark, ominous eyes. They were bordered in black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth. A long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there, watching me. Finally, after what seemed like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said in a way only a madman could speak.
Okay, Marley, I'm gonna have to interject, Marley, because this is gonna be your big scene here. Okay.
Oh dear God.
Every hair on his body stood. How old is this kid? Because how much hair could he have on his body?
I don't know.
I don't know if we. I don't know if we ever actually get ages in this story. So they could be 40 and living at home. So, all right, Marley.
The 40-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Oh
right.
God.
You got to go for it. You got to go for Jeff's infamous line. Like we need masterful.
Here we go.
Delivery.
All right.
All right.
He said,
Go to sleep.
I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled up a knife, aiming at my heart. He jumped on top of my bed. I fought him back. I kicked. I punched. I rolled around, trying to knock him off me.
Sound effects, let's go.
That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife. It went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police. They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash, like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing toward the back of my house was broken. I looked out it to see him vanish into the distance. I can tell you one thing. I will never forget that face. Those cold, evil eyes and that psychotic smile. They will never leave my head.
Just imagine like Jeff like out in the yard, like mugging and like crab walking like Zoidberg to get away, like whoop, 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 like Jesus Christ. And yeah, no, I stumbled on that too. I looked out it to see him vanish into the distance. I looked out it. I looked out. We know you're looking out the window, dickhead. Like, and also the pros between like these two paragraphs here. They're like, you know, one of the neighbors had alerted the police. They drove into the parking lot. Like if I was grading this, if I had handed this in like second grade or however the fuck old this author was, and I put they drove into the parking lot, there'd be like big red circle around that with a line pointing off to the side of the paper saying, "Who's they?"
Yeah, is it the neighbors or the cops?
The neighbors drove into the yard? Did they hit your dog? Like, did they run over your bike? What happened? All right, anyway, back to this. And also, can we get a round of applause, like, F in chat for Marley's Jeff voice? Because that is fucking perfect. Like,
it's beautiful.
Yeah. They ever turn this into a movie? We're just gonna have Marley do all the ADR for Jeff. Police are still on the look for this man. I said I'm not gonna do it every time, so I'm just gonna move on. If you see anyone that fits the description in this story, that this child who's anywhere from 10 to 40, please contact your local police department. And then we launch right into the story proper.
We just suddenly there's no like no horizontal bar insert.
Yeah, no, nothing.
No dot.
We're just right into, like, you know, this would be where they insert that stupid shit in the movie where it's like 3 months earlier, you know, like.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. I love the air quotes, fancy. Also, he got a promotion, so why did they move? Wouldn't, like, if he did he move closer? Did he move further? Like, you gotta give us something, author. Like, Jeff and his brother.
I think it's supposed to be Leo, but most people just say Lou.
Like Liu Kang? Like.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's actually supposed to be more like Leo or Leo.
So he's Chinese. Jeff is Chinese of Chinese descent, because Liu is Chinese. So that's a pretty big disparity between like here's our son Liu and his brother Jeff. Like, it's interesting. One very westernized name and one obviously Chinese name.
Yeah.
Jeff and Liu.
You can guess who was named after Grandpa.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
Yeah. Grandpa Liu always wanted a grandkid named after him. But Jeff and his brother Lou couldn't complain, though. A new, better house. What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of their neighbors came by.
Hello.
She said.
I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and to introduce my son.
There's no space between my and self, but okay. She turns around and calls her son over.
Billy, these are our new neighbors.
Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard. Billy doesn't give a fuck about Jeff or Lou or any of this.
Oi.
Well,
said Jeff's mom.
I'm Margaret, and this is my husband Peter and my two sons, Jeff and Luke.
Hey.
Jeff saying hi. I'm just picturing, did you ever see that episode of Always Sunny in Philly where they break into the rich person's house to steal this vase? And they have really thick Southern accents, and they're like, "Oh God, we're gonna end up in some Hicks murder basement." And when they finally see the family, they're all Japanese with super thick Southern accents. That's what I'm picturing right now. Yeah, we're expanding our horizons, chat. We're diversity. Who knew you'd find that in Jeff the Killer?
Jeff the Killer, ahead of its time.
Very much so. They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said they would love to. When Jeff and his family are done packing, Jeff went up to it. Is that supposed to be unpacking? Because, like, they moved there, they were unpacking, now they're packing up? Like, well, the fucking neighbor came over, I guess we gotta leave. You have neighbors here? Ew. Yeah, Jeff went up to his room. All right, now this is supposed to be Jeff. I would love if this was like a screenplay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Mom, why would you invite us to some kid's party?
I almost
You haven't noticed I'm not some dumb kid.
I almost just spit scotch on my keyboard. Oh my God.
Jeff?
Said his apparent mother.
We just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now, we're going to that party, and that's final.
Jeff started to talk, but stopped himself. Thank God, knowing that he couldn't do anything. Whenever his mom said something, it was final. He walked up to his room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there looking at his ceiling when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much a pain, but a weird feeling. It's called puberty, Jeff. He dismissed it as just some random feeling. The redundancy! I just had to say feeling 3 times. I feel like an asshole reading this. He heard his mother call him down to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it. Well, I'm glad he's got a fucking...
Jeff, get your ass down here and unpack your shit.
Yeah, get your stuff. Why'd you pack it back up after we unpacked? The hell's wrong with you? Yeah. His dad's just drunk in the yard. Like... The next day... The rest of the evening just passed uneventfully, I guess. The next day, yeah. Jeff walked down the stairs to get breakfast and got ready for school. As he sat there eating his breakfast out of a fucking dog bowl or something, I'm sure, he once again got that oh my god.
Is Jeff at that age where he's just starting to awaken?
I was gonna
there
say
he's
just boners like for days with this guy, like just all the time. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain. We are talking about boners.
Oh no!
But he once again dismissed it.
Weird.
Yeah. I was watching Ninja Turtles and I saw April and I got this feeling. As he and Leah finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus, and then all of a sudden, some kid on a skateboard jumped over them only inches above their laps. They both jumped back in surprise.
Yeah, hey, what the hell?
I love it. Every time I love it. The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his... Oh, this is the coolest motherfucker in this fancy town.
Look at this guy.
Look at this fucking rebel. There's like jumping over people on his skateboard and kicking it up and catching it. Like this is like Lucas from The Wizard, but if he actually could do something physical other than use the power glove. The kid seems to be about 12. 1 year. Okay, so Jeff's 13.
Oh boy.
He wears an Aeropostale shirt. No, he fucking doesn't. Nobody did that. And ripped blue jeans.
Well. Looks like we got some new meat.
This isn't prison. What is he gonna fuck them? Like, suddenly, 2 other kids appeared.
Oh.
One was super skinny, and the other was huge.
Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith.
Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have. I just instantly looked at this kid. We're like, you're a fucking NPC. You don't matter. God damn, dude, that's harsh.
And he's Troy.
They looked over at the fat kid. Of course there's the fat kid.
Here we go.
Are you sure this wasn't written in the 80s? Talk about a tub of lard. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling. Oh, look at this. Yeah, we got an NPC and this fat piece of shit. Jesus.
Cancel Jeff the Killer for body shaming.
Body shaming Troy the fat kid. Why can't he just be just Troy the man he's trying kid, and then the other one what's his name? Let's call him what's his name because he doesn't fucking matter.
He's the NPC, right?
Yeah.
And I
said the first kid.
Am Randy. Now,
are you?
Of course his name's Randy. Of fucking course his name's Randy.
Look. All right. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there's a small price for bus fare, if you catch my drift.
Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of the kid's eyes. That is not how that expression goes. When one of his friends pulled a knife on him?
This is so ridiculous, Grimm.
I know! You gotta do it!
Tis. I had hoped you would be more cooperative, but it seems we must do this the hard way.
Literally, like this kid's a supervillain. Like, I expect you to die, Mr. Jeff. Like, the kid walked.
God, I need to change his voice. I need to change his voice real quick. Hang on.
Okay.
I had hoped you would be more cooperative, but it seems we must do this the hard way.
Yes. Much more apt.
Oh,
The
boy.
kid walked up to Lou and took his wallet out of his pocket, and Lou just let that shit happen. Now he's a fucking NPC. Jeff got a boner.
Oh no!
His brother getting rolled gave him a boner. Okay. This is why Jeff the Killer should have stayed back in 2015. Now it was truly strong, a burning sensation.
No!
He stood up. All of him
What
stood
part
up.
of him? What
Yeah.
part of him?
But Lou gestured him to sit down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid.
Listen here, you little punk. Give back my bro's wallet or else.
Give back my bro's wallet, bro. Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife. What are these fucking Stephen King greaser bullies from the fucking 50s? Why does
really
everybody
are.
have a knife? This is not how fucking like suburban 12-year-olds who are just out there knife fighting like this is West Side Story. Like, Jesus.
Oh God.
Uh,
Oh. And what will you do?
I love the little scoff. Yeah. Just as he finished the sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it. I just broke it. Like he's fucking Steven Seagal. Yeah. Randy screamed and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith. Who the fuck is Keith? Oh,
He was the NPC.
I'm sorry. He's so
Literally,
he's so forgettable. Rushed Jeff, but Jeff was too quick, of course, because he's John fucking Wick now. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He just punched Troy straight in the stomach, and Troy went down. As he fell, he puked all over. Okay. This guy, whoever wrote this, had to be like 11 years old.
Mm.
This is written in only a way that someone who has never been in a fight in their life, B, has never been in a fight with anybody who was armed in their life, and C, maybe just got done like watching The Dark Knight. Yeah. Lou could do nothing but look in amazement at Jeff. Oh, now we get to hear Lou's voice.
Oh God. Jeff, how'd you? I'm giving him that very hilarious.
That's how we read notes in Obscure. He gave him that voice.
Absolutely.
Because I hate Christmas. Oh, God. That was all he said. They saw the bus coming and knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing. Probably because they just stabbed like 3 people.
We better scram.
Yeah. Oh, geez, boys, the cops. Yeah. So they started running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought of that as his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. that is the most unreal thing about that whole story. Like,
Oh.
I believe that Jeff kicked those kids' asses before I believe that anything scary happens in this story. As he got the... No.
Yeah.
That is not a sentence I have to read.
Yes, it is.
It sure is.
All right. I'm going to take a drink. Hold on. Oh, that was strong. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was, the urge to just hurt someone. Ah! I think I just had an aneurysm. That feeling he felt? No!
I felt it.
Like, I want to get a spritz bottle. I don't even want to kill the person who wrote this. I just want to get like a spritz bottle and just be like, no!
Bad.
That's a bad writer! Go back to school! Take some night classes, for Christ's sake. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. Sound effects not helping. He felt that strange feeling go away and stay away for the entire day of school, even as he walked home due to... Yeah, it's a nice thing he's not popping boners in class. How embarrassing. Home due to the whole thing near the bus stop, and how now he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore. He felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was, and he said in a somewhat ominous voice...
It was a wonderful day.
Next morning, he heard a knock at the front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers at the door. His mother looking back at him.
Apparently.
Yeah, with an angry look. I can only imagine.
Jeff, these officers tell me that you attacked 3 kids.
Oh,
That it wasn't regular fighting neither, and that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son.
Oh. Mom.
Wait. Jeff's gaze.
Wait, what? I think I had a stroke and just completely lost my place. It wasn't regular fighting, they were stab. Okay. Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was true.
Oh no.
Mom. They were the ones who pulled the knives on me and Lou.
Oh, God. Son.
Said one of the cops, I'm sorry.
We found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, okay? 1 has a bruise on his stomach. And we have witnesses proving that you fled the scene, okay? Now, what does that tell us?
Well,
Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Lou had been attacked, but then there was no proof it was not them who attacked first. I'd like to think that the gang of 12-year-olds with knives rolling people for their wallets at the bus stop on the first day of school, like, maybe have priors, but I could be wrong.
You would think.
I was just saying, like, I feel like they didn't just wake up that morning and they were like, you know what, I'm going to take my knife to school.
I'm gonna shank somebody.
Yeah, is that a
Sounds like
new
good
kid?
thing.
I want to take his fucking wallet. You know, like... They couldn't say that they weren't fleeing because truth be told, they were. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Story? We were there. Like... So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Lou.
Son, call down your brother.
Jeff couldn't do it, since it was him who beat up all the kids.
sir. It was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Lou tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me.
How ominous. The cop looked at his partner, and they both nod.
Well, kid, well, that's bad. So, looks like a year in juvie.
That's not how sentencing works. It's not how the law works. They're not just like, oh, you stabbed some kids and you kicked their asses? You're in juvie.
You're juvie, no trial.
You're going away for a whole year, Jeff. Like, thus spake Judge Dredd, apparently, because he just makes these decisions on the fly. All right.
Word!
God damn it. Says Lou. They all looked up to see him holding a knife. Now he's got a knife. The officers pulled their guns and locked them on Lou. He's got a knife. Get him! Just light him up. I'm fucking dying.
It was me. I beat up those little punks. Have the marks to prove it.
He lifted up his sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises as if he was in a struggle.
Son, just put down the knife, okay?
Said the officer. Lou held up the knife and dropped it to the ground. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops. You mean down the stairs?
No, Lou! It was me! I did it!
Jeff had tears running down his stupid face.
Wait.
Poor bro. Tried to take the blame for what I did. Well, take me away.
The police led Lou out to the patrol car.
Lou, tell him it was me. Wait.
Hang
on.
Wait.
No, that's you.
There we go.
Tell them it was me! Tell them I was the one who beat up those kids!
Jeff's mother put her hands on his shoulders.
Jeff, please. You don't have to lie. We know it's Lou. You can stop.
Isn't this racist, Mom?
This fucking mom just like, you were always the favorite, Lou's a piece of shit, let them take him away. Like, he was an accident, son, it's fine.
Honey, he was born a 40-year-old man, so just come on.
Yeah, he's always embarrassing. We can't take him anywhere. He always wants soup. Jeff watched helplessly as the cop car speeds off with Lou inside. It's like they just fucking burn out and take off. What? Jeff has had quite a day. His brother takes the rap and his mom's like, it's okay. Your brother's a piece of shit. We're gonna frame him. We're gonna frame him anyway. Like, and then the cops are just like, later, going to juvie, and they just peel the fuck out.
But you know what? Points for the cops pulling the guns
on the
on a child with a knife.
Yeah,
Child.
on a 12-year-old kid who's standing at the top of the stairs with a knife. Yeah, he's got a knife.
Yep.
Just the visual of them lighting him the fuck up and just murdering him would have been that would have been a much better that would have been a more entertaining way to end Lou's particular part of the story. Jeff, what?
Little alternative girl. Oh my God, he's coming right for us!
And they just start shooting. They shoot the mom. They shoot the dog. Like, they kill the plants. Like, they go outside and slash his dad's tires. Like, oh shit! A few minutes later, Jeff's dad pulled into the driveway. I just imagine the dad coming home from work and be like, "What the fuck happened here?" Seeing Jeff's face and knowing something was wrong. Oh, see Jeff's face.
Oh, Dad.
Son, dang old. So what is it?
Okay, thank you. Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him as Jeff wept in the dress. He left his crying child outside. He's like, "Hey, honey, what happened?" He's like, "Oh, that other piece of shit kid of ours got sent up the river." After an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house, seeing that his parents were both shocked, sad, and disappointed. It doesn't fucking seem like it. It seems like they could not care less that their other kid's gone. He couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought of Lou when it was his fault. He just went to sleep. trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by, not just one evening anymore, with no word from Lou at JDC. Well, he hasn't even had a trial yet, so, again, not how that works. 12-year-old who wrote this. No friends to hang out with. Jeff's a fucking loser. Nothing but sadness and guilt. That is until Saturday when Jeff woke up by when Jeff woke up. Just when I think this shit can't get any worse. When Jeff woke up by his mother with a happy sunshiny face.
Hi, Damien.
Hey, Damien.
Hi.
Do you have a happy sunshiny face when you woke up this morning? Did you write this? Did you write this? I swear to God, I will fucking disown you if you wrote this.
I mean, he was very happy when I woke him up this morning.
He woke up in his ditch.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. Jeff, it's the day.
She said as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room.
Oh yeah. What's today?
I was up all night watching The Crow. Asked Jeff as he stirs awake.
Why, it's Billy's party.
Oh no.
He was now fully awake. He's got a boner again.
You're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after...
There was a long pause.
Now, Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be the thing that brightens up the past day. Now, get dressed.
No.
I love how she's just like, well, your brother's in prison because he's a fucking assaulting piece of shit, so let's go eat some cake at Billy's party. Jesus Christ. This is like the worst mom ever. Like,
Mom's already had
Jeff's-
2 glasses of wine.
I mean, it explains a lot about Jeff, yeah. She was up making mimosas at like 5 a.m.
yeah.
Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get ready herself. Wait, why is she going? Jeff's mom like, they have a bouncy castle, Jeff. We're not missing this.
Remember, this is a quote-unquote fancy neighborhood. All the parents are invited.
Oh, yeah. He fought himself to get up. He picked out a random shirt and a pair of jeans and walked downstairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up. His mother in a dress and his father in a suit? For a kid's party?
I'm sitting here, I'm like,
Yeah, my teacher doesn't say Aeropostale or no that shit.
Oh my god. This family, dude.
dude.
He thought why they would ever... No. He thought, comma, why they would ever wear such fancy clothes to a kid's party. Just go ahead. Just keep going.
Son, is that all you're gonna wear?
Said Jeff's mom.
Better than wearing too much.
Sick burn, Jeff. Let's go. He said. His mother pushed down the feeling to yell at him and hid it with a smile.
Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression,
said his father. Jeff grunted and went back up to his room.
I don't have any fancy clothes.
We're poor, Mom!
Just pick out something.
He looked around in his closet for what he would call fancy. He found He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions and an undershirt. Jeff's fancy dress. It's just he dresses like a cholo from East LA. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it though. He looked around and found only striped and patterned shirts, none of which go with dress pants. Finally, he found a white hoodie and put... Of course he has a white hoodie. And put
It's
it
like
on.
a title drop. Here it comes.
Yeah,
You're wearing that?
they both said. His mother looked at her watch.
No time to change. Let's just go.
She said as she herded Jeff and his father out the door. They crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house. So Billy also owns the house? I'm sorry. They knocked on the door, and it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents,
The Barbara, just like his parents, way
Hold
overdressed.
on. Yeah, right. They knocked on the door, and it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. Was too overdressed, or overdressed as well. God damn it! Somebody give me a red Sharpie. As they walked inside, all Jeff could see were adults, no kids.
The kids are out in the yard. Jeff, how about you go and meet some of them?
Said Barbara.
Barbara?
Jeff, Barbara, they're coming to get you, Barbara. Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting at each other with plastic guns. He might as well be standing in a Toys R Us. Oh, that aged well. Suddenly a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and hat. Oh no.
Hey, wanna play?
I can't believe they
Not-
put the
not-
W.
Way.
No.
Way.
No, kid, I'm way too old for this stuff.
The kid looked at him with that weird puppy dog face. Oh no, again. Go ahead.
You have a line, Graham.
I don't need to say said the kid. Everyone knows the kid was talking because there's a fucking W in please.
Fine.
He put on the hat and started to pretend shoot at the kids. At first he thought it was totally ridiculous, but then he started to actually have fun. Might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off his shitty brother. So he played with the kids for a while until he heard a noise. A weird rolling noise? What the hell's a rolling noise? Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboards. How high's the fence?
Oh, no.
Wait, he couldn't see him coming, but they could jump over the fence on skateboards. They must have gotten there early before the party started and set up some kind of ramp.
Oh boy.
Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. He doesn't look like an asshole. Randy looked at Jeff with a burning hatred. Why? Okay.
Hello. Jeff, is it?
God damn it. He is a Bond villain. Go ahead.
We have some unfinished business.
Jeff saw his bruised nose.
Well, I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you, and my brother got sent to JDC.
By the worst cops on the planet, by the way. Randy got an angry look in his eyes.
Oh, no. I don't go for even. I go for winning. You may have kicked our asses that one day. But not today.
Not today!
Never today.
I just imagine his voice going up, like in pitch, like Christopher Lloyd and Roger Rabbit. I killed your brother just like this! Remember me, Eddie?
You may have kicked our asses that one day.
You're peeking the mic. Oh my god. I love how he just straight up admits he got his ass kicked, like normally you don't want to talk about when you get your ass kicked. You know, it's like that bad guy, that fucking shitty bad guy from Miami Connection. Lost my job and got my ass kicked. All right. As he said that, Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose. There's a lot of nose punching. And Jeff grabbed him by the ears and headbutted him. Okay. Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Would any of them like to stop this melee that fucking broke out?
No,
Troy and Keith both pulled guns. Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of their pockets.
No one interrupts her guts will fly!
Shut the fuck up, that did not happen. They said.
Oh.
Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabs his foot and twists it, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him. Dude, no. More like Jeff twists Randy's foot, he falls to the ground, then his friends walk up and shoot him in his fucking chest. Because apparently, in the Mad Max realm of this nice town they live in, the kids are just running wild like it's fucking Lord of the Flies or something.
Purposely said they're running out in the house and pumping their fists like in Street Fighter.
Yeah, they're all in the background, they're like chugging vodka or something, and like, yeah, fight, like all their parents are standing around. Oh, shit.
Oh, boy.
Okay, Troy grabbed him.
Need some help?
He picks Jeff up by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door. Okay. I like to think that Jeff did the goofy scream. As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts to cough up blood.
Come on, Jeff, fight me!
Well, really, I never. He picks Jeff up and throws him into the kitchen. He's just fucking manhandling Jeff. Where's all your fucking John Wick moves now, you little bitch? Randy sees a bottle of vodka. I did not. Oh, I must have subconsciously. I read this earlier. I must have subconsciously remember there was vodka involved. On the counter and smashes the glass over Jeff's head. That is not okay. Real quick aside here. Hitting somebody with a bottle, like in the head, doesn't break it. It just makes a really nasty sound, and they normally fall down.
Mm-hmm.
But not Jeff.
Yeah. Nope.
Fight!
He throws Jeff back into the living room. Oh, I'm just picturing like a Terminator fight where they're just smashing through walls of this house. Like Marvel fucking superhero movie.
Oh, boy.
Come on, Jeff, look at me!
Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood.
I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC, and now you're just gonna sit there and let him rot in there for a whole year. You should be ashamed.
Oh my fucking god. Literally, remember me, Eddie, when I killed your brother. This is a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon, honestly. Jeff starts to get up.
Oh, finally! You stand and fight!
Jeff is now to his feet. Just gonna move on. Blood and vodka on his face. Once again, he gets that strange feet. Don't get a boner while you're getting your ass kicked, dude! You're gonna send the wrong signal! The one in which he hasn't felt for a while. Oh no. He does not say that.
Finally, he's up!
God damn it, I knew you were going to say it that way. Says Randy as he runs at Jeff.
Take me, Jeff!
And then he gave him an angry handy J, and all the parents still did nothing. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed? You mean his sanity? Because that's not the same thing as a psyche, author. All rational thinking is gone. All he can do is kill. He grabs Randy and pile drives him to the ground.
Suplex.
Yeah, right. Fucking, like, tombstone pile driver. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. The punch causes Randy's heart to stop.
Kalima!
Shakti Day! You've betrayed Shiva. As Randy gasps for breath, which is not something you do when your heart stops,
No.
Jeff hammers down on him. Punch after punch, blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies. This 13-year-old punched a 12-year-old to death, and where are the parents? They're all still outside. Maybe they have cowboy hats on and guns. Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. It's like just a stage in Smash Brothers. Everyone is looking at Jeff. Everyone is looking at Jeff now. The parents, the crying kids, even Troy and Keith. Although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff, Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. As he runs,
No,
Troy...
wait.
Oh,
Wait.
okay.
They break their gaze is trained on Jeff. They break it to point their guns at him, man. Look at it.
I know.
They have to look at their guns and make sure they're aiming at the.
Yeah, the fat kid
right
and the fucking nobody are like, oh yeah, we have guns. It took them a minute. Yeah. Well, it doesn't. Their boss just got fucking killed. So I mean, if this was Double Dragon, they'd all just fade out of existence. Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow up behind as they let out their final round rounds of bullets.
Oh, shit.
That one hurt. Jeff ducks into the
Bang,
bathroom.
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was supposed to be, there's everything wrong with that sentence. Also, you're missing a comma. He grabs the towel rack and rips it off the wall. That's not hard to do. Troy and Keith race in, knives. Oh, now they have knives, so they got their backup. They're going close combat, folks. These fucking Stephen King bullies.
CQC, let's go.
Yeah, right. Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard, and now all that's left is Keith. Well, you punched the other kid to death, and all he does is fucking touch this other guy up with he touches the fat one up with the towel rack, and he's done. Like, Randy, you gotta get better henchmen, dude. This is pathetic. Which you could do if you weren't dead from a punch. He is more agile than Troy, though, and ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into the wall. Look at this NPC thinking he's the MC because his boss is dead. A thing of bleach fell down on top of him from the top shelf. It burnt...
A thing of bleach.
A thing of bleach.
A thing of bleach, and it burnt both of them, and they both started to scream. Bleach doesn't ignite when it hits skin.
No.
That's not how that works.
If it got in your eyes, that might be one thing, but...
No,
well, see,
it doesn't burn that bad.
Jeff
Usually.
wiped his eyes as best he could. So instead of telling us it got in their eyes, they left it up to the next sentence to do the heavy lifting. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's head. As he lay there bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile. Dude, he just hit him in the head with a towel rack. Towel racks are made out of fucking aluminum. It would have bent the towel rack. It might have hurt, but it's not gonna kill somebody. He let out an ominous smile, like a silent fart. He's laughing like Beavis.
What's so funny?
Keith pulled out a lighter and switched it on.
What's funny,
He said,
is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol.
I love it. Like, you just read that like, actually, what's funny? Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka. It never said that the bottle broke. It also never said he was covered in vodka. Also,
Well, no, earlier it did say there was blood and vodka on his face.
oh my god, that is not how. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached. The bleach bleached. The bleach bleached. I want to kill myself, chat. The bleach bleached.
I am melting.
What a world. Yes, the bleach bleached his skin. I can't believe I had to say that. Say it 3 times, chat. He tried to roll out. He tried to roll out the fire. All right, stop.
Wait. You forgot the part where he caught on fire.
Yeah. Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught on fire. He tried to roll out the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him a walking inferno. It's like Michael Myers at the end of Halloween 2.
It is.
He ran down the hall, lighting the rest of the house on fire, and he fell down the stairs. I like the picture. There was a banana peel at the top of the stairs. It just. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire. First of all, he's not a man. A man on fire.
Man on fire.
Yeah.
Yes, a 13-year-old man, everybody.
Yeah, A Man on Fire is a mediocre Denzel Washington movie. It is not this story. And I like how everybody just waited to see how this fight played out after the kids ran out of bullets instead of intervening. They're all downstairs like, oh man, I hope Jeff makes it. Fuck him. I hope Troy makes it. Like, they're down there betting. Oh, God. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, drop to the ground, nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and the other parents trying to extinguish. Oh, thank fucking God they woke up. That's when he passed out. When Jeff woke, he had a cast wrapped around his face. No, he didn't. Because they don't put casts on people's faces. Idiot. He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body. I'm sure he didn't feel much because he's probably full of painkillers. That's usually what they do to burn victims.
The good stuff.
Yeah, right. He tried to stand up, but he realized that there was some tube in his arm, and then he tried to get up. When he tried to get up, it fell out, and the nurse rushed in.
You would not just fall out.
I think they were trying to intimate that, you know, he ripped his IV out or whatever.
Yeah,
but
rip the IV out.
an IV is
But,
not
you know,
an IV is not like
fell out.
like they just jammed a tube in his ass and it fell out when he sat up. They're just like, no, we're feeding you anally because you're so burned.
Oh God.
It's okay, we're almost done.
Okay. I don't think you can get out of bed just yet.
She said as she put him back in his bed and reinserted the tube in his ass. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea. It's like, why is there a tube in my ass? No idea of what his surroundings were. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother.
Weirdly enough, no feelings.
Yeah.
Honey, are you okay?
She asked. Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered and he was unable to speak.
Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed to trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go.
This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube in his ass.
He'll be out by tomorrow, and then you two will be able to be together again.
Sure. Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her goodbyes. But we're going on vacation, son. We can't stand this shit. We're social pariahs in the neighborhood.
We're only coming to visit
All
you
right,
for like 5 minutes.
Your daddy and I are going on our little Hawaii trip. You be good now.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to ruin that for us now, would you, son? Barbara and Billy are so pissed that we burned down their house with our son's flaming body. The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family. What? Then came the day where his bandages were to be removed. His family were all there to see it. Grandpa Lou and everyone. What he would look like. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on the edge of their seats. Is he gonna be fuck ugly? I don't know. He's gonna be fuck ugly. They waited until the last bandage holding the cover over his face was almost removed. You mean the cast? Did they have to dip his head in water to break it apart? Like...
Well, let's hope for the best.
Nazi doctor. He quickly pulls the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. Lou and Jeff's dad stare, awestruck at his face.
What? What happened to my face?
He rushed out of bed and ran into the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of the distress. His face, it's horrible. It's ellipses like anime. It's horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. Not how that works. His face was turned into a pure white color. Also not how that works. And his hair was singed from brown to black. Oh my fucking god! Fire doesn't change the color of your hair!
It just takes it away.
Yes! He slowly put his hand to his face. It had a sort of leathery feel to it now. He looked back at his family, then back to the mirror.
Yes,
Said Lou.
it's not that bad.
Not that bad.
Said Jeff.
It's perfect.
His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching.
Jeff, sweetie, are you okay?
Okay. I've never felt more happy. Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me.
He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it. Oh no. This is a metaphor for something else. Looking in there pounding off in front of his family. Looking at the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall... Shut the fuck up! You did not just... Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind, his sanity rather, snapped. Now he was left as a crazy killing machine? What? How do you make that leap? How? You did... Show, don't tell, dickhead! His parents didn't know.
Doctor? Is my son all right? You know, in the head? Oh, yes. This behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here. and we'll give him a psychological test.
Yeah, Mom, I'm just high. Don't worry about it.
Just picturing him in the bathroom, like touching his face and jerking off while the doctor's like, oh no, this is perfectly fine. It happens all the time in Deutschland.
Thank you, doctor.
Jeff's mother went over to Jeff.
Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go.
You do not begin and end a sentence with the same word. I don't care if it's the or if it's somebody's fucking name. You don't do it. Jeff's mother went over to Jeff.
And then Jeff.
Jeff looks away from the mirror. His face still formed into a crazy smile.
Hey, Mommy.
I love that now he's calling her mommy, because this is obviously
God.
Yeah, this is what people in 2015 thought was scary. Like he literally just turned into Christopher Nolan's Joker, like Heath Ledger's Joker. This is what happened. But we all know this is what happened. His mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes. Oh, he was naked the whole time? That makes this so much more funny.
Oh no.
It's cold.
This is what came in.
Said the lady at the desk. Why are we just introducing new characters left and right here in the third act? I don't know what the lady in the desk deal is. I don't know what she sounds like. I don't know why she's there. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie. Okay, bullshit. He was a fucking man on fire, and I believe was the description we were given. How is his hoodie still white, but his hair's fucking black now? Now they were clean of blood and now stitched together. Bullshit! Hospitals do not fix your clothes. They do not unfuck your possessions while you're going crazy. That's not how that works. And if they did, I can only imagine how big the bill would be. Jeff's mother led him to his room and made him put his clothes. I don't want to put my clothes on. I want everyone to see. I'm feeling a feeling. Fuck.
Oh my gosh.
This is so bad. Then they left, not knowing that this was their final day. Don't tell us that, author. You just literally spoiled your own ending, you fucking idiots. Okay, look, we're at the bottom here. We're at the last.
Yeah,
we're
we're there.
Final
We're there.
stretch. Let's go. Later that night, Jeff's mother awoke to a sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded as if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks. What they don't tell you is that it's his ass cheeks. He carved a smile into. Look, Mommy, my ass is smiling.
Jeff, put that away. Jeff, what are you doing?
Asked his mother about his ass. Jeff looked over to his mother.
I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever.
Jeff's mother noticed his eyes ringed in black.
Jeff, your eyes.
He's been listening.
All the better to see you with, my dear.
I've been listening to a lot of My Chemical Romance, Mommy. His eyes were seemingly never closing.
I couldn't see my face. I got tired and my eyes started to close. I burned out the eyelids so I could forever see myself. My new face.
Okay. This anal belch of a story aside, Marley's voice acting is fucking on point. I'm just saying. That voice in something that's actually scary would really work. So
Yes.
yeah. I mean, Viscera's voice
Yay.
acting is always on point. She's a voice actress, but I'm just saying. Yeah, this is the first time I've heard you doing like any kind of voices and stuff. So this is fantastic. You've improved. You've elevated this from like diarrhea to just a turd.
You have.
Like
Yes.
Jeff's mother. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is the turd that results after somebody eats some of that edible gold flakes. you have elevated it to that point.
There you go. You have rolled this turd in pink sugar and sprinkles. And put like a big gold star sticker right in the middle. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane. Oh, now he's going insane.
No, he's going insane.
Not
Wait,
when
wait,
he
wait,
was
we know
punching
insanity.
children in the chest until their hearts exploded and shit. No, now he's crazy.
What's wrong, Mommy? Ain't I beautiful?
Yes, son. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your face.
She refers to her husband as Daddy. I just wanted to point that out for everybody.
Every night.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we all see where Jeff's issues spring from. Mommy issues. She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from. I like how he doesn't. Nobody gets names, but like
he never gets a name.
yeah, like the shit, like Billy, the kid nobody remembers, the fat one, Randy, and Lou. They all get names. Nobody else gets a fucking name.
Nope.
Yeah. Room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep.
Honey, get the gun. We're
gonna finish what those cops started. They just go in the other room and shoot Lou in his head while he's asleep. Like, there, we saved Jeff. Oh shit. Alright. She stopped as she saw Jeff in the doorway holding a knife. Holding a knife that he was already holding.
I got another one, okay?
Yeah. I've got two, Mommy!
One was covered with... the other one was covered with my butt blood.
Yeah, right.
Mommy.
Oh no. And then of course I get raided in the middle of it. What's up, Static? Oh my god. You are too late. You guys missed it. Oh shit. Yeah. We were in the middle of reading a creepypasta. The infamous fucking Jeff the Killer. We've been reading Jeff the Killer and doing voices. We're right at the end, though. Unfortunately, you missed it.
You picked the best time.
Like you literally fucked up the ending so spectacularly. It's fantastic. Like it's like if you're watching Air Force One, and like the camera zoomed in on Harrison Ford's face right when he's about to say that iconic line where he's like, you know, get off my plane. But then all of a sudden, Death Cocklock just starts blasting for no reason. It was perfect. I hope you had a good. I'm glad. I hate Jeff the Killer. Well, when I put this up on YouTube, I'm not even gonna fucking mute the fucking like I usually I mute the raid alerts, but I'm not even gonna fucking do it. Anyway, let's finish this piece of shit. Yeah. Okay, I'll take it back. She stopped as she saw Jeff in the doorway, holding that knife he was holding while feeling that feeling that he felt.
Mommy, you lied.
That's the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with the knife, gutting both of them, like in one fell swoop, with his ass knife. Like, anyway.
I'm aerodynamic. I took my clothes back off.
Yeah, I'm naked again, Mommy. Fuck the police. His brother Lou woke up, startled by some noise. You mean the noise of your parents getting gutted and your brother screaming like an asshole for like an hour?
No, actually it was the local dog barking.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's what it was. It was those cops peeling out outside again. They're just cruising by the house, and Lou looks out the window and they do like the two fingers at the eyes and then point at him. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, the fucking author must have found himself a thesaurus for the last paragraph here. He got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up. Before he looked up, Jesus Christ, you could not fuck up the last, 4 sentences of this story. He looked up before Jeff's hand covered his mouth. He slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Lou. Lou thrashed here and there, and over here, and over there, and whither, and henceforth.
And thither.
Trying to escape Jeff's grasp.
He said.
Just go to sleep.
And there you have Jeff the Killer. I'm gonna try.
This is the My Immortal of creepypastas.
I have done some dumb shit in my life. I've read some bad books. I've watched I've watched a lot of bad movies. Okay. This is absolute shit. This is terrible. We made it fun, but this was fucking bad.
Now that I have the context of Jeff the Killer, because listen,
it's even worse. Isn't it worse?
Up until now, I had blessedly avoided ever reading this. All I ever saw was the porn on DeviantArt.com and Tumblr. And now that I have the context, why did this ever inspire anybody?
I have... Like anybody... Was anybody here a teenager in, 2015?
No, never.
Because if you were, I want an explanation for why you like this. Why are you like this? Why do you like this? Why? And I'd also like your last names and social security numbers so I can kill you and make sure this never happens again. Christ!
Oh my god.
This was bad.
Oh, my ribs hurt.
Oh my word. Also,
did you read the comments under it too? There's somebody's like, why is everyone bullying Jeff in the comments? And someone's just like, cause it sucks. And that, yeah.
Oh my god. But no, I went to Google just to give myself a refresher on all of that fan art. And I'm just sitting here like, this is not what a burn victim looks like.
There were
not even a little bit.
There was a whole era of bad indie horror games based on Jeff the Killer, and at least half of them were done in RPG Maker.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and there was a lot of shitty Unity asset horror games of just him chasing you through labyrinthine places, and then he'd catch up to you, and it would be some dickhead trying to sound creepy, got to slap,
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, and they'd somehow fuck up the pronunciation or yeah. What a
that unlocked a memory. Woo.
What a spectacular dumpster fire of a story.
So
but
bad.
you know what? The great thing is, not only is it over, and not only am I putting this up on YouTube so people can relive this, especially Static who missed it because he's gonna fucking love us reading this.
Oh boy.
It means that we can move on. We don't ever have to talk about Jeff the Killer again.
No.
Yeah.
We
can just throw him in the dumpster. Where he
Yeah.
belongs.
We can put him under the used diapers and the old Indian food. Maybe a dead dog, rat feces, all the way at the bottom of the dumpster. Because this story's fucking terrible. But the great thing is, this is not.
So bad.
This is only a measure of it's an oddity. This fucking story, because this was so goddamn popular. I think I want to say it's the image. I want to say
Yeah.
the image
Yeah.
is what made Jeff the Killer like a thing, as opposed to
Yeah.
this story, because this story is horseshit. Like, it's not scary, it's not cool, it's not anything.
People wrote in self-insert fanfics wooing Jeff the Killer.
No.
Yeah.
It's a
He's
thing.
literally a child.
Well, that's the other thing. It's like, wait a minute, this guy's like 13 years
Yeah.
old. What is
Yeah.
going on?
I don't. And then there was crossover stuff. There was this asshole wrote a sequel to this. There was Jane the Killer. There
Jane the
was
Killer.
No.
Jeff the Killer versus Slender Man, because that's what we want to fucking see. Some fucking burnt dickhead with a boner trying to attack an equally like as big of a dickhead in a suit in the woods. Like, that's what we need.
Ugh.
I shit talk
My
Slender Man
word.
because I don't think Slender Man's scary either, but at least Slender Man had some thought put into him, had like
No,
you know-
I will say I enjoyed Marble Hornets. Like, I thought that was like it was good. It was
Yeah.
good.
Well,
I'm
that-
not particularly like
that's
crazy for Slender Man.
That's
but
what I'm saying though. There's something there with Slender Man. You know, it's just a
Yeah.
take on the old boogeyman myth. You know,
Mhm.
it's just another version of the boogeyman. But there's so much to work with there. With this story,
Yeah.
there is nowhere you
There's
go from here.
nothing.
There's nowhere
There's
you go from
nowhere.
here that is good.
No.
No.
Because you
way.
already started at the fucking sewage treatment plant. Like, you're not. You can. yeah.
You started at the sewage treatment plant, and somebody is holding out like a diving suit and a snorkel. Like, you go.
Yeah, they're like, hop in.
Because I mean, logically, all right. What does he go on to be? He just keeps killing people.
He
okay.
just kills people.
All right.
That's what he does. He kills indiscriminately.
There you go.
Go to sleep.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to killers or slashers or any kind of villain like that, there has to be some kind of air of mystery to them to make them frightening. Whether it's Michael Myers with not knowing his motivation, seemingly having no motivation for doing what he's doing, which makes him terrifying. For Leatherface being somewhat sympathetic, because you can tell that there's something really wrong with him, and he is a product of his environment, literally. Jason,
Yeah.
who was a victim, you know.
Yes.
Freddy, not so much. Freddy was a child-killing piece of shit. But you know what? Freddy had personality, and Freddy had an interesting
But
backstory.
Freddy had charisma.
He did have charisma. He is the most charismatic.
He had the riz.
That's very true. Thank you, Reaper of Crows, for the follow. I appreciate it. I promise I will never subject you to Jeff the Killer again. I promise. So but like, when you go through this story, one of the worst things about this story, it's not even the bad, poorly written bullshit, the bad punctuation, the shitty descriptions, or the way that it is so absurd. You know, you can't relate to this story in any way because it's so absurd. It's that the story tries to get you to sympathize with Jeff, but it fails spectacularly because there's literally no like, if you're going to explain why somebody goes insane, it can't just be because some assholes tried to kill him. That is not a reason to lose your mind. And if you're trying to say that these feelings he was having, I know we were calling them boners, but if these feelings he were having was some kind of deep, like, if you're trying to say that Jeff was a psychopath, right? You can't
He was actually a psychopath the whole time.
Yeah, you can't have him crying over his brother or being upset about his brother, because psychopaths classically do not have empathy. They lack that.
Nope.
That is what makes them a psychopath. So you cannot have him being upset about anything. You would have him not caring.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't understand what there's nothing to make Jeff a killer. He's just a kid who apparently is superhuman. And also his body is not made out of skin and bone like yours, because skin and bone, when ignited, doesn't just turn white and your hair turns black.
Oh my god.
That is not what happens. And also,
I'm just gonna...
hey, no, go ahead, please stop me.
I'm just gonna bless you with this.
Oh no.
What did you do?
I'm scared.
You did not put
I'm
porn
scared.
in the fucking.
Oh, no,
Oh
there's
my god!
Please. He's just cute. Yeah.
Why is there kanji on this? Did somebody pay for this? Did somebody go on Skeb and pay somebody to do this? The static's in here.
They
No. This smog. Yeah. All right. Jesus Christ. Oh no. No, what did Vis do? No, you guys probably want to see it.
No, Oki, please.
It's an extremely accurate image.
God damn it, Oki! You don't say anything to me for months. You won't come watch Godfrey Ho movies, and this is how you fucking come back. Oh, yeah, it does look like Marilyn Manson from Disposable. What was it? Was it Disposable Teens? Yeah, whatever that fucking music video was.
Whichever one is. Whichever one.
Well, you guys enjoy being here in hell. I'm closing this. So yeah,
Thank you
Jeff
for
the
that.
Killer is awful.
Pretty bad.
But it is definitely one of the worst examples. And Jeff also started this whole trend. That was the big problem with creepypastas, was that Jeff started the trend of people just trying to make up killers, like Laughing Jack, Eyeless Jack, all of the Jacks,
Yeah.
Jack Off, like whatever the fuck. You know, the most uninspired bullshit of people just with knives who stab people, which is not scary. Just having a knife and stabbing somebody is not scary. That's just everyday shit, especially if you live in Chicago or the UK. So it's definitely like a weird example of something that should by no means have been popular or anything other than just something to laugh at. Like, oh, hey, did you read this one? It's fucking terrible. But I don't know if it was when it came out or just the audience that was there for this shit. But yeah, it fucking blew up. So, but luckily, we've started at the fucking bottom. We've started in the bowels of hell, so we can only go up from here. But I think
Can
that
only get better.
I think that we're gonna take a 5 minutes so everybody can get a drink of water, because that's a lot of reading and voice work
Yeah.
and stuff. I want to give you guys a break. We're
This
gonna
is
step
so
away.
many.
We're gonna step away for a minute, okay?
Also, yes, gonna just pat myself on the back for all the voices. I
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot of voices. Yeah, I want everybody to appreciate Viscera and Marley for the voice acting. You don't have to thank me for narrating, because fuck you. I don't do that. I will just take it as a slight. But yeah. We're gonna take a 5 minutes and let everybody like stand up, stretch, get some water or whatever, and then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna watch shit, guys. We're gonna actually watch shit. We're gonna turn it on. So I promise no more Jeff the Killer. All right. All right. We will be.
I make no such promises. What?
If Viscera brings up Jeff the Killer, Crow, ban her. For, I don't know, when was this? The original one came out like 2015. 2015 hours. That's how long I want you to ban her for if she brings up Jeff the Killer again. Okay, thank you. Run intermission. We'll be right back.